Good evening and welcome to the Modern Mystic radio show. My name is Sarah, I'm your host. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me, just in case you've never heard me before. I'm based in the UK. I'm a psychic, been working as a psychic for over 27 years now. I'm not on my own today. I have a very, very special guest with me who I'll be introducing to you in just a few moments. And he'll be able to take a couple of callers as well. I'm very, very excited about that. So I'm just going to tell you how you can get hold of me if you want to get a reading with me or work privately. I have a private practice over in the UK, and I also work for a UK psychic television station as well. So if you want to get hold of me, my website details are www.modern-mystic.co.uk. Okay, and you can also find me on Facebook under Modern Mystic and also Mystic Saira. And I do a Facebook live session once a week on a Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT, if you want to actually catch that. Then I'm doing back-to-back live free readings, so catch hold of that. And I'm also hoping to do some quite other exciting stuff as well on Facebook Live too. So on with the show, and I'm going to welcome in my very, very special guest today. It's Jimmy Mack. Hi, Jimmy. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Now, I have had the pleasure of experiencing one of your healing sessions, did that last week. And that was, I have to say, it was unusual, it was different, and it was amazing. So thank you so, so much. And you will be, of course, doing exactly the same that you've done to me with a couple of our callers a little bit later. So before you go into that, before you show how you work, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got into healing?
Sure. Yeah, I started out Episcopal Church, of course, the great Church of England, and it was an acolyte way back when, and I really enjoyed all that. But then I started falling down the cliff, of astrology, numerology, and anything I could get into. And I actually went to all the little spiritualist churches in Tampa, Florida, and went to all the psychic development classes and trumpet classes and all the wild stuff, the ectoplasm, cool stuff about, and the messages and all just the wildest fringe stuff ever. So I love all that. Did theta healing, reconnective healing, Reiki, of course, remote viewing, shamanism, so many different things, matrix energetics, access, UN, the list goes on and on. So that was my biggest foray into really sitting at the feet of a lot of the masters, at least of what they did. And then I had a near-death experience around the holidays of '09. And they took my gallbladder out and they about killed me. They gave me too much anesthesia, so I was coding out every night in ICU. So I had very profound experiences. And what I looked like it really looked like the Hubble Space Telescope pictures. It was deep inner space. It was very interplanetary sights and sounds and really, really cool stuff. So it's something you never forget, and you really don't want to come back from it. So, but you know what I'm talking about. So you've seen those things. Yeah. People got in flashes, perhaps of purple or blue or different colors, but you can imagine being immersed into it and feeling like you're going into the great beyond. So that really changed everything. It took me months and months to get past really clinical pneumonia is what I ended up with. And so it took me forever to just be able to walk and catch my breath again and be okay from that. But ever since then, things got a little sideways and wonky, and it feels like I'm bridging both worlds all the time. So it's a really neat place to be. And Spirit really downloaded and showed me a new method we now call My Liquid Fish, Change Made Simple. So that was that, yeah. And so it's been a wild ride ever since. So it's a lot of fun, and it's fast. We have called it change you can feel and change.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, I mean, I can verify that myself because I had a session with you, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So just tell us a little bit more. You mentioned liquid fish. Tell us a little bit more about that. What does that mean?
Sure. Basically, infinity is the symbol in 8. Everyone knows pretty much it's an 8 laying on its side. And what Spirit showed me in my near-death experience was to take off the back left end. So the face of the fish is always pointed to the right. It's similar to the Christian little fish symbol, but not as sharp of a nose. It's more roller coaster, more smooth, rounded, if you will. And basically the negative piece, down at the bottom left of the tail. And that's where you might have earth negative weakness, and the top left tail would be heaven positive strength. So it looks kind of like a Tai Chi move or a yoga move or something like that. And what we're basically doing is deleting the negative and going up to heaven and downloading the positive. So for people that can use a pendulum or stand muscle testing or use their fingers or any number of different things, you get to a place where you get clear enough and we can add and subtract things.
Okay. And is that something that you do, or is that something that people can do themselves? How does it actually work?
Yeah, I can actually, what we do is for people that email us, we'll send them out an email that has basically the audio MP3 in there, some diagrams and different pictures, so they can learn it really pretty fast. There's video in there, there's audio, there's different radio shows where we've talked about it and shown people how to do it. You know, I'll tell you, it's very simple. And once you figure it out, it's really easy and fast and fun. Doesn't mean you won't need a session. So it's kind of like my joke with everybody is they're like, well, can I do it like immediately? And it's like, sure you can, but it's the same as, you know, if you read a book on flying an airplane and I go, hey, here are the keys, have it back in an hour. You know, I'm not getting in the airplane with you, right? So you know what that would end up. So, you know, so I encourage people to have a session at least after they've reviewed that type of material so they can get the finer points, because once they get through it and we have a session really pointing out the finer pieces of it and kind of the little short list of do's and don'ts, it gets a whole lot easier, and then you can really fly.
So what could people actually use it for? Just give them, give us a little bit of an idea of what sort of problems this kind of helps with.
You know, I tell everybody it's all about energy. So there's energy in everything. So it doesn't matter if it's a health problem, real estate, legal issues, anywhere you have a stuck energy or negativity. It can be any of those things, mental, physical, spiritual. I call it people, places, things, pets, and situations. So anything where there's energy, obviously you come to terms with there's energy in everything. The second piece is to be able to measure that and at least get a basic yes or no. And then once you can figure that out, then the power is in changing it. And that's where the fish would come in.
Okay, I see. Right. So also what I wanted to ask, do you have your most memorable experience with this kind of healing?
Wow. I mean, there's a lot. It's so enriching and exciting and fun. I get testimonials every day, so that's profound. I would say one of my favorites was I worked on a local client, and she had a tumor. I call it the girly region. I have good luck for whatever region in the girly part, so God bless them. And she actually had a tumor the size of like a grapefruit, so a pretty big growth. And they had done a CT scan, ultrasound, all that, and they said it was cancerous. So they were going to want to do surgery, everything else. This was on a Thursday. So I worked on her on Thursday night in my home. She's a friend, and so we just said, well, we'll see what we can do. So we messed with it, played with it. She came up Friday and got an MRI. Monday she saw the doctor. It was gone, just completely gone. So to the amazement and really the frustration,
wow.
I think. Yeah. And so when you hear that, it's like, well, how is that even possible? You know, it impressed me. And I would say to the spirit world, and you would too, you know, hey, I dare you to impress me. Show me some mystical, magical, cool things, right? Well, that's like in your face cool, right? And so she was, you know, called me crying from the doctor's office. And I thought the worst, of course, as we humans do, right? So I'm thinking, this is going to be awful, you know, and they told her this, that, or the other thing. She goes, no, you don't understand. It's gone. There's nothing there. So that's
amazing.
Yeah, that was really sweet and endearing. So I was happy about that.
So how does it differ from other healing modalities such as Reiki and Theta healing?
I like Theta healing. I love Theta healing. I grew up on Theta healing. I like the fact that they at least test things out and they get yes or no and change things. I believe that what I have is a little bit deeper and more expansive because there are areas of parallel universe, parallel dimension. There's other worlds and different things we're dragging through in this diagram of the fish that we're making. And so I believe that goes a lot deeper. Reiki and a lot of the other ones, maybe reconnective, love matrix energetics, a lot of them, you feel good, you get a high maybe from it, or you go, wow, that was awesome. But there's really no definitive way to say, hey, this happened or this didn't happen. So I think that's the difference. Whereas this is you actually feel things coming and going. You can actually tell that something's changed.
Okay, wonderful. Right, I'm just going to wait for our first caller to come through. We're going to be doing live healing sessions tonight. So say, for instance, somebody's got a situation where, I don't know, their love area isn't working. Is that something that you can actually have a look at and actually fix in a way?
Absolutely, yeah. And I really like working on the person and really coming up, starting with them and being very direct and finite with them, because if we change ourselves, as you know, it's much easier to work on, say, just you than every man on earth, or men in general, the gender. It's a pretty big field. So yeah, we can move energy around that and see what we can do.
Oh, fantastic. So you can also look at perhaps abundance blocks and things like that.
Yeah, had a lot of good luck on that as well. So definitely. And I like good fortune for that. I would work on everybody's good fortune. Some people have good or bad luck, or at least what they perceive is good or bad luck. And we would delete out or release negative luck or weakness in their luck and strengthen all that, make it a lot more positive, a lot more fun.
Oh, wow. I think I might have to come and see you. Right, and also, if anyone else wants to come and see you, how do they do that? How do they get hold of you?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is always email. It's info, I-N-F-O, at jimmymackhealing.com. That's Jimmymack healing.com. And anybody that emails and even mentions your show, they're going to get all kinds of information. It's all free. Again, there's ebooks in there, there's audios, there's a bunch of videos, and a lot of it is private. It's not even available on the web or YouTube or anywhere. So it's a pretty good find. And we send out a weekly little email newsletter, and that goes out every week. We don't solicit for anything, but there's comics in there, there's videos, there's audio. It's really all about fishing and improving lives, definitely.
Oh, fantastic. Right, well, speaking of that, we have our first caller. We have Melanie, and she's from Florida. Hello, Melanie, are you there?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Melanie.
Hello,
now,
I'm
going to put you straight through to Jimmy. He's going to do a live healing session with you. So I'm just going to put you straight through to Jimmy. Jimmy, you can take over from here. We have Melanie.
Awesome. Hi, Melanie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. What coast are you on? I'm in Clearwater, St. Pete, Tampa area.
Oh, my gosh. I'm not far from you.
Okay. There you go. What were the odds tonight, right? She's in the UK.
Yeah.
We're out of DC, New York, all over the world, and here we are. So, dreamy. How can we help you? It is. What do you got going on?
Not much. I just wanted to hear what you have to say and, what's coming up.
Sure. Well, what's going on with you? Is there something we can work on? Can be health, can be relationships, money, school. What do you got going on?
All of the ones mentioned.
All the ones mentioned. Well, it's a radio show live, so grab something that matters to you, and we'll see about changing the energy on it. How about that?
Okay, you can do. Yeah, you can do relationship, you can do abundance, you can do...
Yeah, relationship's fine. What's going on with that? What would you like to see happen?
I'm not in any relationship currently. I would like to see one happening.
Okay. So, can you stand up right now? Face due north. Sun comes up in the east. Awesome. So if you face due north, and you want to have your feet in strong mountain pose and yoga, it's going to pull you forward for yes and push you backwards for no. And if you just say, my name is Melanie, if you say, my name is Melanie, you'll feel the pull forward.
I do.
Nice. And if you say, my name is Nemo the fish, you'll feel the pull backwards. Crazy wild, right? Love it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it is wild.
I know. So watch this. So let's just even say that you're lined up for a romantic relationship and see if you go forward, back, or in between. You can say it out loud.
I couldn't hear you. I beg your pardon?
Sure. I would just make the statement, I'm lined up for a romantic relationship, and see if you go forward, back, or in between.
Okay.
And how does it feel?
I think in between.
In between. All right. So we're going to change that to yes for you. And all I'm doing right now, by the way, this modern mystic, is, of course, my fish. And so it just goes like that. And now it's going to pull her straight forward to yes when it changes.
It's nice and smooth.
It's nice and smooth. I love it. It's a pull forward for you, Melanie.
Yeah, it definitely is. I feel like I feel a vibration. I don't know how to
describe it. I know. I do it all day long. It'll always be weird to me too, but I love it.
It's like a cleansing.
Yes, like a cleansing. I love it. So what we're basically trying to do is we're really making the effort to take off your spiritual jersey, anything that could be blocking you from an awesome romantic relationship. And I tell people it's kind of like if you and I, if you and I go to a handheld car wash.
Weight.
Yeah, a lot of weight, and it's feeling pushing forward. If you and I go to the handheld car wash, you're putting in the coins and I'm spraying you down energetically. Make sense?
Absolutely, I feel it.
Yeah. I love it. That's great.
Wow, there were so many blockages. I wonder where it's coming from.
Well, I tell everybody it's like if I ask you to take out the kitchen garbage, you don't want to dump it on the $15,000 dining room table. I'd say, well, what are you doing, Melanie? You go, well, I got to go through it one last time. It's like, no, it's garbage. Just throw it out. Be done with it. Rubbish, what the English call it, right? So just be done with it, right? So you want to create as many of these changes as you can, because then it makes a huge difference in how you feel and what's going on. How do you feel right now? I bet it's a lot more optimistic.
Way better. I feel like a burden lifted off my shoulder. Like I can't explain it. Like I feel like I lost like 80 pounds off what I was carrying.
Isn't that cool? It's fun. Yeah. Well, Melanie, you got to email me. Yeah, info@jimmymackhealing.com. I'll be glad to send you all kinds of information. I'll help you in any way I can. You're local, so.
Info@Jimmy.
Info, INFO, and then the symbol @jimmymackhealing.com. It's JIMMYMACK healing.com. And if you send me an email, honey, I'll send you all kinds of stuff. And you're a fellow Floridian, so we'll take care of you, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So it's info@jimmymackhealing.com. Absolutely.
Correct. You got it. That's perfect.
Excellent.
Right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Melanie. We're going to have to move swiftly on. We now have Debbie in Ocean City, Maryland, and she's here. We've only got very, very short space of time, Jimmy, so I'm going to hand over straight to you.
You got it. Hey, Debbie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. Thank you.
Good. What would you change or make different? What's going on?
Well, I have a couple of concerns I'm hoping that maybe you can help me with.
Sure.
Or what you see or feel about it.
Yeah, grab the top one.
Yeah. My daughter is getting ready to have a procedure.
Okay. Coming up here in the next very, very shortly?
Yes.
Yeah, like 72 hours out, maybe 3 days out kind of thing?
A little more than 3, less than a week.
Well, maybe it's prep. She's going in for prep or the test or whatever around that time, but that's all good. Why don't you stand up? We'll rock some stuff out for her. What is her name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Okay. So if you're standing due north, you want to put about a foot in between your feet. Going to pull you forward for yes and push you backwards for no. And let's just do a bigger prayer for her and go deeper and just believe, think, know, and feel. Be ready, willing, and able. Know when, where, how, why. That Stephanie's procedure will be flawless and graceful and filled with ease. It's going to pull you forward when that comes in. Feeling that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's a radio show, so speak up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just a little stunned there for a second.
That's all right. I know it's very stunning. I do it all day long. I'll never get used to it. So, but you felt it, right?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's sweet of you to call in, not for yourself, but for your daughter. I mean, that's dreamy, you know? So, very cool. I feel like it's going to all be okay, by the way. So, but in the next 3 days, they might call her or do something with, pre-op stuff, maybe some lab tests, x-rays, whatever. It's what's going to happen. I'm telling you right now, you may not hear it. You'll hear about it in 3 days. So no big deal. But I just see it all coming out flawless, by the way. And Modern Mystic and anybody else will tell you this is all going to go down within, prior to Mercury retrograde, which is also a great time to be getting this done. So I feel like it's going to be fun. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. We're thrilled to give you a little relief, Debbie, and just knowing that makes a difference, okay? Reach out anytime. Either one of us will help you, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. Goodbye. And off she goes. And hopefully she really, really enjoyed that session. Thank you so much for demonstrating, Jimmy. That's been absolutely amazing. So I'm going to wish you a very good evening now and hopefully catch up with you soon. Okay. Thank you. And just to let you know, I've only got a couple of minutes left of the show. But if you want to get hold of me, my website is www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or you can find me on Facebook, Mystic Saira or Modern Mystic. Next week, we have another guest here. It's going to be the gorgeous Aldo Raffa, a very, very highly respected psychic here over in the UK. And so I'm going to be interviewing him, and he's going to be taking a couple of callers as well. So I can't wait for that. We've had live healing sessions, readings as well, sort of, going into the psychic side a little bit more next week. So I'm going to wish you all a very good evening, a lovely week ahead, and I shall see you again, same time next week for more psychic radio show. Love and light. Bye.